From high above the battlefield, 3 players watch the chaos unfold below. One of them reacts in awe, remarking how devastating Shadow's dark ability is. It only took one skill to force the boss into its second phase. Another expresses disbelief, questioning if Shadow really dealt that much damage, especially since the enemy is a platinum tier boss. A third confirms he witnessed the entire fight and adds that this particular boss is known for launching sudden surprise attacks. Then, as another wave of Shadow's dark energy strikes, the boss's health bar takes a dramatic plunge, cut clean in half. On the ground, Shadow stands still, composed and silent. The group observing from the rooftop is puzzled by strange chanting sounds coming from above. Meanwhile, Shadow locks eyes with the corrupted boss. He calmly notes that while the Iron Saintess becomes extremely deadly in her second form, she does have one crucial vulnerability. During her offensive phase, the powerful damage reflection ability she usually relies on becomes inactive. The key, he realizes, is to land hits exactly while she's attacking to avoid any reflected damage. But there's a catch. Many of Shadow's signature moves, like Shadow Slash, Shadow Claw, Venom Blade, and Poisoned Wings, deal continuous damage over time. Even if his timing is perfect, those lingering effects would still trigger the boss's reflection, putting him in danger. He ponders the situation. Using those skills without caution could easily lead to his own death, struck down by his own attacks. Glancing back toward the rooftop, he notices a group of players keeping an eye on the battle. Suddenly, the calm is broken when a serious-looking man steps onto the rooftop, brushing past the trio without a word. He says he wants to see the situation firsthand. The others recognize him instantly, the man clad in golden armor. They call him Safety Big Brother and express a sense of relief now that he's arrived. The girl explains that after the boss hit 50% HP, it froze and its appearance changed, likely signaling a new set of abilities. She adds that they've studied this boss for a long time and know all its previous attack patterns. The armored man points out that Shadow vanished as soon as Phase 2 started, making him wonder where he went. He instructs the girl to activate her red eye vision to scan the battlefield for Shadow. She agrees right away, and a pulse of glowing green crystal energy surrounds her. Moments later, a mystical rabbit creature with glowing red eyes appears, surrounded by shimmering energy shards. The rabbit darts forward with pinpoint accuracy, landing right where the boss now stands, monstrous and even more terrifying, now with several shadowy limbs stretching from its back. The girl reports back. Shadow is nowhere in sight. Even with her level 3 detection skill active, he doesn't appear anywhere. She's confident that he's either completely gone or using a stealth ability that surpasses her detection level. The armored man raises an eyebrow. A level 4 invisibility skill? Unlikely. Regardless, he orders the girl to stay alert. If Shadow shows himself again, she needs to inform him immediately. She nods and stays focused while the golden armored warrior readies both of his weapons and launches himself into action. Back on the ground, distant players watching from afar are stunned. One of them comments that trying to solo a platinum tier boss is practically suicide. As blue energy pulses around the warrior, others recall that this is Safety First, a legend in his own right. Once known for godlike reflexes and elite gear, he was a pro-action game streamer, famous for his reaction speed and dangerous combat style. The boss locks its glowing red eyes onto him and lunges with a vicious slash from a massive shadowy blade arm. The man meets the attack head-on, drawing his weapon and charging forward without hesitation. When the two forces collide, the warrior is pushed back hard from the sheer force of the strike. A cloud of dust erupts around him as he scrambles to regain his footing and stay on his feet, resisting the crushing power of the boss's assault. With a chilling screech, the boss unleashes a poisonous shadow strike. The blade-like limb tears through the air, nearly impaling the man. He narrowly evades the lethal blow, letting out a sharp breath as the dark energy brushes past. Rolling along the ground, he avoids another deadly swing from the boss's shadow arms. The trio watching from the rooftop erupts in cheers. One praises his smooth dodging. Another calls it expert-level evasion, not a single hit taken. Nearby spectators also discuss the man's amazing performance. While most are impressed, one notices something strange every time he dodges. The boss's health drops slightly. Another confirms it, saying they saw faint slash marks appear across the boss's body. They begin to wonder, could he be using a hidden soul weapon with secret abilities? The girl chimes in with confidence, saying that perfect dodging is just the beginning. What truly makes him terrifying is his offensive strength. That's what gives him the edge. Once again, the armored man times a flawless roll, dodging the boss's attack with precision. He knows that if he times it right, the evasion effect will activate and negate all incoming damage. The girl watches eagerly and explains that with a perfect dodge, the next attack he lands will bypass 50% of the boss's defense. With blue electricity crackling around him, the warrior charges up his next move. The air surges with power, and the spectators are left breathless by the explosive effects. The girl yells out this hit could break 4 digits in damage. With a confident grin, the man unleashes his ultimate technique. A storm of blazing blue sword energy erupts around him, slashing through the air and cutting deep into the boss with shocking precision. The power of the strike punches straight through the Iron Saintess's defenses. The rooftop crowd gasps in awe. Someone shouts that the boss's health just dropped to 1/3 after that insane move. The battlefield quiets down as the attack settles. Standing beneath the moonlight, the warrior's silhouette glows with strength. The name of the skill Hidden Moon Shadow reflects his signature sword style. But then, something horrifying happens. Suddenly, red numbers begin flashing over the man's body. It's reflection damage, and it's massive. Each number shows over 1,000 points of recoil. The spectators watch in horror as Safety First collapses, unable to withstand the devastating backlash of his own move. Confused, they try to understand what went wrong. One points out that he dodged every strike. Another says his attack should have damaged the boss, but it didn't reduce HP right away. Then someone notices something odd. The boss's health did drop, just not immediately. It happened moments after the flashy move. From a shadowed spot nearby, the real Shadow watches everything in silence. He reflects on what happened, while everyone focused on the flashy frontliner. He was the one landing the real damage all along. He quietly explains that while Safety First drew all attention and provoked the boss into attacking, he used that distraction to land precise hits from the background. It was those hidden strikes that actually reduced the boss's health to 1/3. He looks at the fallen warrior and comments that soul weapon users like him often look impressive but aren't suited for enemies like the Iron Saintess. The fatal mistake? He triggered reflection without landing a dodge-activated strike. That mistake cost him everything. Now stepping forward, Shadow is finally visible, and the boss reacts instantly, sensing the real threat has returned. It hesitates, clearly alarmed. Shadow realizes the boss is trying to retreat to its sanctuary. If it makes it there, it'll fully regenerate, undoing all of his efforts. He glances at the group on the rooftop. The death of Safety First has clearly shaken them. They won't dare step in again. But this creates a new issue if the boss doesn't attack. Its reflection ability won't drop, making it almost impossible to strike without getting killed. Shadow narrows his eyes. The situation is clear now. There's only one path left. He has to face the boss directly, no more tricks, no more stealth. It's time to go all in. Shadow bolts forward, eyes fixed on the corrupted boss trying to retreat toward its sanctuary. If he lets it escape, all the effort poured into the battle will vanish in vain. High above, the players watching from the rooftop finally begin to piece things together. The endless slashes they thought came from Safety First. Those were actually Shadow's doing from the start. One of them sheepishly admits they were completely misled. They assumed the flashy frontliner was the hero of the fight. But in truth, the real damage dealer was the silent assassin hidden in the background. The green-haired girl stares, stunned. Her level 3 detection skill didn't even catch a glimpse of Shadow. That could only mean one thing: his stealth is tier 4 or beyond. Another player eyes the battlefield and grins at the glowing item drop near Safety First's fallen body. Clearly tempted, he mutters something about claiming it for himself. Meanwhile, Shadow activates a powerful defense black light shield, 10 layers. Each layer is capable of absorbing a full blow, perfect for buffering against the boss's inevitable retaliation. The corrupted boss raises its bladed arm, preparing a lethal counterstrike. Shadow narrows his gaze, steady and focused. This is his moment. He triggers his ultimate technique, Shadow Slash. Searing blue sword lights burst outward like a storm, carving into the boss repeatedly in a blur of motion and force. Though his attack lands hard, he doesn't walk away unscathed. Reflection damage kicks in, and 3 of his shield layers vanish instantly. Only 7 remain. He realizes that the last 3 hits from his 9-strike combo connected after the boss had reactivated its reflection. Without the protective barrier, those hits would have killed him outright. The boss retaliates fiercely. Its many arms surge with a violent violet aura, then erupt in a barrage of fire magic. The field explodes in purple flame. Shadow braces himself as the waves of fire slam into him. The black light shield takes the brunt of the assault one layer, then another, shredded away by the intense spell. In just a few seconds, all 7 remaining layers are gone, and Shadow is left completely vulnerable. He thinks back on it quickly. Even with an 80% dodge rate, this kind of rapid fire spell was too much. If he'd waited even a second longer, he would have been dead in 5. Elsewhere, the player who had his eye on the loot drop now makes his move. He reaches out to grab it only to be struck down in an instant. A green slash slices across the air, hitting with surgical precision. Poison seeps into the attacker's body as he crashes to the ground, writhing in agony. Shadow stands over him, cold and calm. "Stealing something I risked my life for? Not a smart move," he says. 2 system prompts flash before him. One offers to convert Safety First's item into 612 days of tradable life. The second gives a curse absorption skill valued at 355 days. Shadow decides to skip the curse option for now. He chuckles lightly, amused that the thief managed to survive the hit. Turning back toward the battlefield, Shadow notices the boss isn't attacking anymore, just watching him with eyes full of hate and dark energy. The situation is now a stalemate. There's no clean way to finish this. Shadow resigns himself to the safest method available, reapplying his black light shield, then whittling the boss down with normal strikes and carefully timed Shadow Slash combos. It's slow and not very efficient, but with the boss's reflection skill still active, it's the only path forward. Up on the rooftop, no one speaks. The watchers are frozen in awe. One finally breathes out. "This guy, what rank even is he?" Another nods, admitting he never understood how Shadow kept securing first kills until now. Everything is crystal clear. Then, Shadow lifts his weapon and announces, "Final strike." A swirl of golden energy forms around him. He launches into the sky and delivers one last, overwhelming blow, a blue blade strike that cleaves straight through the boss, obliterating its core in midair. System notifications flood in. The Iron Saintess, a platinum tier boss, has been defeated. XP rains down in large numbers. Evolution points roll in by the dozens. But the true prize? A key, the church sanctuary key, a rare item with huge potential. The stunned observers can't believe what they just witnessed. One woman gasps, realizing Shadow actually took down a platinum boss alone. Another confirms it, finally understanding why Shadow is ranked number 1. Light gleams around Shadow's hand. A new legendary item has dropped, Hand of Nightmare mythical tier. He inspects the rewards calmly. The black flame cloak emerald grade grants incredible defense, better than full armor sets worn by most players. It also applies a stacking black flame debuff, cutting down enemy defense and resistance by 7% per hit up to 5 stacks total. perfect for boss battles. Then he unlocks a new ability, Emerald Vision Assassin's Awakening. This grants insight into hidden weaknesses and boosts his stealth detection by +2 levels. With all bonuses considered level 5 detection, a 50% damage bonus on weak points, and extra power against cloaked enemies, Shadow's critical hit multiplier hits 350%. He smirks. That last strike landed cleanly into the boss's weak spot, and he didn't even need to open his eyes. Shadow spends 97 evolution points, upgrading Phantom Evasion to Legendary tier. The system confirms 80 points used, 17 remain. At level 5, the skill now gives 75 to 85% dodge chance and triggers full damage negation automatically. Just as he finishes the upgrade, a girl runs up, full of excitement. She asks if any rare items dropped. Shadow gives her a puzzled look, wondering if she has bloodhound senses. She giggles and jokes about how quickly he leveled from no ranking to level 13 in a single night. Another player pipes up that they've only managed to hit level 11 after grinding non-stop. The girl laughs again, teasing that no man should level up that fast. Her friend gets flustered and asks Shadow to settle the joke. Then she makes a real offer, 45,000 coins for all the loot they've seen so far. Shadow agrees and closes the trade. He mentions he has another valuable item and asks if they know of any safe places to conduct trades. She explains that John High City's ruins don't have official safe zones, but players can claim personal hideouts, which can even be enhanced with magical defenses later on. Shadow figures that the key he looted earlier must be for a hidden hideout dropped by the boss. She confirms that it's possible, though they haven't seen one appear in John High yet. However, she reveals that players from the Magic Capital have already found a mid-tier hideout, which is how she knows how the system works. Shadow shows them the key. It's for a massive church sanctuary 800 meters wide. He tells them to research the market value before he decides to sell. They scream in disbelief. 800 meters? That's enormous. She explains that larger hideouts offer stronger defenses and enough room to house entire teams, including private quarters for each member. Curious, she asks how much he intends to sell it for. Shadow advises them to check the current market prices first. Then he drops a bombshell in his past life. Hideouts like this were worth up to 2,000 years of lifespan. If the official faction wants it and he sells now, he'll have enough lifespan saved to upgrade all his gear and skills to reality level. The girl promises to get back to him fast, but before leaving, she adds there's one more urgent request. Shadow nods, ready to listen. She explains, in Crescent Town, 7 golden ranked bosses have gathered. Many players have already fallen. They want to hire him in exchange for 10 years of lifespan to take them out. Shadow's expression shifts. 7 gold tier bosses? That's usually something the official guild handles. If they're asking him directly, things must be worse than they seem. He prepares for action. She cheerfully confirms his suspicion. Her trust in him is clear. The monsters were terrifying. They took one down and it came back to life. Then, all 7 went berserk and wiped out the entire squad. Shadow narrows his eyes. Something's wrong. Resurrecting bosses. That smells like ancient tablet magic, possibly clones created through that forbidden power. If that's true, he knows he can't ignore this. The agreement is sealed. Shadow receives 10 years of lifespan for his help. As he sets off, the girl calls out encouragement behind him. He silently notes how generous she was. 10 years of her own life, just to borrow his strength. That alone shows how serious this mission is. And the reward? The materials from these 7 bosses could be worth over 50,000 years.